Hi everyone, another day, another project, always another project. Just going to turn some lights on here, guys. Should have already had this prep, but you know me. Okay, this is probably sort of a video about the Studebaker pickup build, which I have not worked on or shot any footage for that project for some time, nearly 2 years, just because last year I broke my back, and then sort of towards the end of last year when I was recovering, I was working on the 65 Mustang, which is still a work in progress, but with this virus everything's sort of come to a screaming halt, so we can't do much there. So now with stage 4 restrictions, I'm stuck at home. I'm trying to get as much done around the place as I can. One thing I've been meaning to build for a very, very, very long time is a square tube roller. You can buy them, but they're very expensive, more expensive than a round tube roller. Don't ask me why, but they just are. So I've got a lot of round sections, especially like the door frames, that need to be perfectly round to suit the cab. So I've got all these radiuses here and on the other side there, and then I've got to roll some tubing. It's only slight it's only a slight bend in it, but I need to roll that, and I need to, I don't know, around the window there I have to make a frame for around the window. So I've got a little bit to do. So anyway, I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I saw some people making their own square tube rollers. So I decided, okay, I'm going to make my own. And probably about 18 months ago, I sketched out this pattern, and I went and bought 3 rollers down there, and I bought some shaft to work as an axle. So I made a start on it, but I never finished it because when I fell off the roof and broke my back, everything come to a big screaming halt. So we never got there. So now I've decided that today I'm going to cut this out. Now, I've seen guys use plasma cutters and just basically mark out a template and then cut it with the plasma cutter, and it's done. It's all in one piece. I've seen other guys, in order not to waste material, actually cut each section out and weld them together. I'm going to start marking out everything on here and start cutting away with an angle grinder because I don't have a plasma cutter. So wish me luck. Okay, I've got my first piece cut off. Now I just have to clean it up and notch out all the little bits and pieces. And once I've done that, I can trace it out onto here and cut my second one. I've got my second piece marked out now. I haven't quite completed this one. This is going to take a little bit of time and effort to sort of get all of these squared up properly. It's extremely hard to get in there, so yeah, it's just going to be patience, time, use of a few different tools. So I've got my little die grinder bit there, and I've got a good good file, and yeah, I'll just clean that up and then have to start again here. So these are the 2 hardest pieces to make out of the entire assembly. So I'm sort of 50% there already. So everything else after these 2 pieces should just come come along more easily. Well, after a little bit more filing and grinding, everything's starting to sort of come up square now. So I've still got a few problem spots. Got a little high there, and this one. Basically, every one of them still needs to be cleaned up. This is a bad one. For some reason, I'm just having trouble getting into this one. I don't know why. Just don't know why. I also realised I made a mistake. I always point out my mistakes if I make one. These two, for some reason, I've opened these up a little bit wider than I should have. So I'm just going to get a piece of this this offcut. And I'm just going to weld that back in there. I don't know whether I don't think I marked the line wrong. I think just with cleaning up, just trying to get it straight, I just ended up filing, and took a little too much off. So I'm just going to put a piece in there, weld a piece in there, and I'm going to do the same on this one. And that'll close those holes up. All the rest of the holes are really good for the bar. So I'm just give you a bit of a demo here. So I've got more bar than I need, but as you can see, roller will be inside there, plate will be on the other side here, there'll be another roller up this end. You can see here now how much I filed out of there extra. See, a little bit loose, and this one too. I wouldn't say a little bit loose, but a lot loose. This one's pretty good, and this one's pretty good too. So it's only these two I need to fix, and with a piece of that welded in, that'll take care of the issue. And then I'll just obviously have to grind it back again to make it fit, but yeah, it should all work out really good. So we're on our way, and yeah, everything still needs to be all ground down properly. None of the edges have been done, so Okay, that's all my holes drilled out now, which will help me remove most of the material in these slots. I did it the reverse way before. I actually cut the angles on the for the slots and then drilled it, which wasn't a good idea because the sharp edge of the drill bit would get caught on the straight cut, and I almost got caught out here where the drill bit bit in. But yeah, so last time I cut these first, and then I tried to drill the center out. So I've done it opposite. I think I learned something from last time, and I've tried something different this time. So now all I have to do is just wipe this down, find my marks, and then get the angle grinder and just cut the piece out. Okay, what I found doing it this way is you can be more precise with the width of your cut because your hole determines your line. With the felt tip markers, they do leave a fairly thick line there, and normally you would cut either on the inside or the outside of the line depending on what you're trying to do. But this has been a good guide, and it's pretty much kept everything in line. So now all I have to do is run the angle grinder across on a 45, basically make a cross, and then the center should fall out, and all I'll be left with is a little triangular peak there that I'll file down with a hand file, and that should be our second side, our other side. and that's the hardest bit of the work done. But this has made it a lot easier, so if you guys are going to build one and you've only got like the same type of tools I've got, I'd suggest drilling it. But don't forget, when you center punch, because I just made this mistake, don't sort of guess. If you're going to use a 13mm drill, you know, come up 6.5 from your line, mark it right across, 6.5 right across, and center punch right on that line, and then that means that the bottom of your drill bit will actually finish on the line. So these are little things you learn as you go along, and I think this machine's going to turn out okay. Okay, I've got both my bottoms of my plates level, or as level as they're going to get. So that's just taken me probably just over an hour, using various tools to do that. Flap discs, used my belt grinder. Thought I'd give that a go, and that actually worked really good with a sanding belt on it that's supposed to be used with timber. It stripped it off. It was great. So it's not perfect, but it's gonna do the job. It's gonna sit on the table or whatever without rocking. So yeah. So I've sort of worked out also what was a little small. This hole was a little small. I sort of had to open it up. This one was a little small as well, so I had to open that one up a little bit. These two, I've got to open both of them up. And these two at the back, these are the two that I've got to add a little bit of material to. And that should do it. So yeah, a lot of grinding, two dustpans full of grinding material. Just cleaned all that up, so I'm ready to start cleaning up all the bottoms of these slots on this last plate that I just cut. But as you can see, I don't really have a lot to clean up by having pre-drilled them and then just cutting down the sides of the holes. So I'll use my little die grinder bit on my drill and get that all get it all good. Okay, as you can see, this is my template, and I decided to make obviously certain parts certain thicknesses, but this is 6mm plate, or in the old term 1/4 inch. So I've got these two offcuts which would have come out of here somewhere. Now I don't think this is going to bend, so what I'm thinking about doing is using these to create these two middle uprights. They're already cut on an angle, so they're pretty good to go. I don't think it's going to make a heap of difference. I just want to grab a tape measure. Yeah, good question. Where's my tape measure? Okay. Here we go. I got it. Okay. So we're looking at these offcuts are 20 millimeters. So if I go 10 millimeters shorter on the side, I can use this scrap. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've started to clean up all the tops of this, and I've still got to do the the grooves and get everything sort of together. But as you can see, that will be what we have. I don't have any for the other side yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some offcuts in the shed that'll match that 20mm, and we might be able to get away with 20mm there. Okay guys, I found lots of 6mm plate offcuts in the shed, so I'm thinking that maybe we can do something with these bigger plates here, or maybe even the smaller plates. We'll let's see what works. So let's have a look at these for width. Okay, they're not bad. So maybe we take these two. And that might be tall enough for there. If I need something, which I will, I'll need something to go across the top, because I'll have the two sides. I've got the plate here, this plate, so that'll go across the top. It doesn't have to be precise. I only need to use this thing really once. We'll use up what we can, and you know, even if I've got to add a little bit to there to take it up to the height, I can do that because I've got enough. So yeah, we'll just piece it together and see how we go. Okay, I've nearly got all my pieces cut out now. So I've got my my uprights, and I've got a cradle for the top roller. Just got some weights sitting on there to hold it together. Got all the assembly for the top and the top plate. The bottom piece, as you know, and I've just marked out 4 pieces here, which will actually be the diagonals for here. As you can see, I cut the other one out on the other side to use as a template, so that we got it right. So I just need to cut these out, which I'm not going to do tonight. It's getting too late. So because we've got such a big cut, I'm going to try and get a blade to suit my 9-inch angle grinder. This one's a little bit too thick. I'm going to try and get a thinner one, and have a go at this with the bigger grinder. Try and cut through it a bit quicker, and save some blades along the way. So I'm trying to use up as much as I could. This worked out perfect for the 2 here. This one, I've got cut marks here, a cut mark here, but I'll just weld them up. Try and square this plate out as much as I possibly can. It's just easier to store it too. When you've got bits hanging off the end, it doesn't really want to sit flat. So yeah, it's been a very productive day, very long day. Yeah, so I'll do a little bit more on this next weekend and have all these cut out, and then we'll start welding things together.